I clicked go live, but it's probably going to take a second, and I have no intro to play because it's fucking StreamYards, and they took it away, and I shouldn't be cursing because it's the beginning of the stream. But Richard, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? We're gonna fight. Man. I'm gonna beat you up, and that's kind of how this is gonna go. So just get ready.
All right.
No, but seriously, how you doing?
Hey, listen. This way I gotta say, Bats. If you don't rip the comic, I don't believe you don't like it. All right, you got to rip the comic. A new bar.
I only got digital. Shit. You got to. I'm gonna turn the camera to my monitor. I'm gonna fucking.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Now the bar has been set. You got to rip the comic. All right?
That's the only way. It's
and then you burn the shirts and all that. So that's man. I'm so glad to just work on comics now and not have to worry about the theatrics and the all this other distraction from just creativity. You know, I'm just happy just making comics. It's amazing. It's fun.
Absolutely. Story writing. I mean, it's a passion of mine, and I'm going to do it no matter what. I mean, all the other stuff kind of sucks, but I love story writing. And I love reading stories. That's why, if anyone caught the stream last night, I did a review with Vaughn and Evely Music. We did, was it The Banded Crow and Lucent? And man, just
2 beautiful books.
Yeah, it's like I don't even care if anyone watches, and it's just like I need people to talk to because I don't have people to talk to about these comics in fucking person, so it's nice. But we got some things to talk about. We got a lot of things. We had a thing that happened a long time ago between us, and we talked a bit behind the scenes, like right when that happened, and
so no one knows that. I guess.
Like, nobody else, right?
It's funny because people betray me as this asshole and then this and that, but I've been so kind and helpful to people in DMs. And like I don't argue with my customers, man. I don't, and I even people that read it and maybe didn't like it, like even with the unicorn, like there was some real good pointers. Like they were roasting me and but damn, they were like, what about the lighting? Even Matt Barr had some good things. There's one guy, a toxic ranger or something, or zombie toxic ranger or something. He's like, look at this and this and that. I'm like, oh man, that's great. That's great.
They really criticize the hell out of it. And it's one of those things, the more you look at it, you're just like, oh yeah. I mean, but that's probably with anything, but like, yeah, particularly that scene, there was mess up with the shadow and the barn door and stuff. But man, I mean, like that wouldn't even happen if like I didn't get stirred into some other thing that, because I reviewed a book and then there was some. Yeah, then they brought up my video that I think had 12 views at the time. So that's happened. But let's you got a project out right now. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna show off the trailer. Just kind of smooth things in, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, man.
All right, let's see. Let's get it. Hopefully it doesn't fuck up too much. My shit sucks with this. Yeah. All right.
Forgive me, Lord. I have only tried to follow your word. When you had given me the sick, I had prayed that they be healed. I fear this man has passed and led his body to a devil. May you have mercy on me, Lord, and may you have mercy on anyone he finds in his path. For he is death, and death is coming.
All right, I gotta ask, who did the voice for that?
AI. Like AI, I did. Okay. I acted it out, but I had AI. What is it? Element or something? I forgot what I use. It's the same thing Ripoffers uses. He turned on. It's like $5 extra. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it sounds good. I thought it might be you, and I was like, bro.
They have.
I was gonna compliment you, but
Yeah, no, they have a what's it called? Yeah, 11 Labs. Thank you, Herman. Yeah, they have a like a $5 version where you can only use so many
attempts,
actors or whatever. And the more you
voices.
pay, the more actors you have access to.
Yeah.
So
you got some people upset about the lack of unicorns in the trailer. So
hey man, hey, that'd be funny. Like just have a cowboy and a unicorn, you know, just like a homage, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a good trailer though, and you know, Western's it's a popular genre, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. No, I mean I know a lot of people like a good Western, but I mean tell me a little bit about it, you know, some little something that the trailer doesn't, you know.
So this one is just gonna be a pretty straightforward Western, classic revenge tale. You know, I've always wanted to do a Western, man. I love Western films, you know, from like John Ford to Clint Eastwood to even Quentin Tarantino, man. They all have just amazing, you know, films, you know. So I'm like, how can I translate that into what I do with comics? And I came up with this story. It's gonna be 3 issues. Each issue is gonna be 20 pages. And by the end of it, it's all gonna make sense from the beginning of the story to the title of the story to everything that happens in the story. I'm excited about it. You know, this first issue, it starts off with some violence, it ends with some violence. The next issue starts off with some violence, ends with some violence, and then you know, on and on. So is that the real John A. Douglas, the guy that
No, that's not. That's not. Nope, it's not.
Right.
That John doesn't exist on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, did you see that happened with him? They fucking tore his opening paragraph.
Hey man, I had my run-ins with John, you know, but I don't know if I want to see that happen to someone, man. That's rough, man. You know,
that was crazy. He handled it. You know, I mean, you just got to roll with it.
Though. It gets to you because, like, even with me, when I would just try to leave quietly, you know, there's always, oh yeah, you're this and this and that, and totally misrepresenting actual truth of what happened. So it just, I can only imagine this being a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, it takes. You see a comment from somebody, and it's probably a fucking nobody, or you know, could be a kid for all you know, especially if they don't have a profile picture.
Especially if it's clever. That means clever, and you're like, oh fuck, that was that. I kind of,
you know, I have a tendency to try to like give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're trying to be honest, and it's just like I've you know long gone away with that, and just like, no, they're probably being an asshole, they're probably being retarded, and 9 out of times they're trying to be retarded. I was just like, because one of the things is like the people kept on pointing out this one sentence, and they're like, the sentence doesn't make sense, and I'm like, you know, it does make sense, and they're like, you know, they put up the definition of a word, they're like, you know, this is not how it's used, and I'm like, and I do a screenshot of my own, and I'm like, buddy, there's more than one definition to the word, you know,
yeah, but it's weird because it's just a. You know, I do this. I can't speak for you, but I'm pretty sure you probably do it too. We just tweet out some dumb things about like something like a celebrity. This like, you know, we're just like just a crap shit tweet. Like, who cares, man? You know, like they're not gonna see it. You know, and then
I never do that.
And then all of a sudden it's like, bah, like you know, like retweeted eyes of the world now. Like,
I mean, you see it happen to people all the time, and it, you know, it gets people like a little scared to, you know, put their opinion because the person that you're, you know, commenting on, they might take you completely out of context or something. You might make a completely innocent like Kojima remark, and next thing you know, 9 million views. But yeah, no, it's so weird. It's like, you would think that like, oh, this person's too big to ever see me, and then
and it didn't even have to be him. It's like someone related to him, or just the right time, right algorithm. Yeah.
Well, some people that are pretty big on the platforms read every single thing and comment to every single person.
Oh wow!
Then I get to have fun with that because I'm like, you know, I got nothing to do at work today, so this is your loss, okay?
But you know, he got some sales though. I would say that, and then there's gonna be some people that are like, you know, this actually looks cool, you know, or whatever, you know. Some people are gonna dunk on it. They're gonna read it to hate read it, and there's gonna be some people that are like,
that's still a sale.
Yeah.
No, and then I mean, I really enjoyed John's book. You know, that's just my honest opinion about it. I really liked his book. But there were some people like looking at it, and they're just like, I don't get it. what's wrong with the paragraph? And yeah, so that was the thing. But more about your story. Mm-hmm. I know you mentioned with Blood and the Sword, right?
Yeah.
So you're very character driven in that. Did you kind of go the same direction with this one as well?
Right, I did. It's there's a like the classic theme, right? That's going on in the story.
I was about to ask about a theme, yeah.
And the theme is what's more important, who you'll kill for or who you'll die for.
Oh,
and
okay.
as this character is survives, they're trying to figure that out. So and then I had this way to start it with this like, do we really know God's will? Right? So like the character gets what's it called? He gets his family gets murdered, and this priest saves him. And the priest is like, should I have saved him, or should I have let him die and be united with his family in heaven? Because now that I saved him, he has nothing to live for, so he only has something to kill for, right? And now he's gonna all these deaths that are gonna happen because he lived is because of me. Like he's actually praying to God, like, I'm sorry for saving him. I'm sorry for pretending I know what
a little bit of the Batman no kill rule conflict going on, huh?
Yeah, but this guy's like, yeah, man, if I would have let this guy die, but like you tell me to be a good Samaritan, so I helped him, and then he has like this perplex, and now as the character goes and he meets other characters and the world comes in, you're gonna like, oh wow, oh okay, and
no, that's definitely interesting. I think you should probably I haven't checked out your campaign, or I should say I don't look at anyone's campaign even when I back them. I just maybe watch the trailer. I'm one of those big dum-dums. But yeah, what you said there about how'd you phrase it again about like killing
okay, like the conflict or the struggle, like what's more important, who you kill for or who you die for?
Yeah, that's a great line. That's a great line right there.
Yeah. It's like biblical, because like even Jesus was like, hey, yo, the greatest love you can is to lay your life down for someone. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of like that comes into play with the priest too. He's like, hey, this guy was protecting his family and laid down his life, and I denied him that victory. I denied him that honor. So now he has to go find his own death, kind of thing. So
yeah, very interesting. God damn it! The fucking Duckman's chat came up. What did you say, Duckman? That's just telling the truth. He bought my book. He sent me a DM asking me.
My friend. That's my friend. My duck friend.
Yeah. No, I did I did a little review on his book recently. But okay, all right, man. Well, hopefully, I mean, this book is going to be launching. Whether you hit the goal or not, right?
Yeah, that's
awesome.
So, like, what I did is, like, prior to the internet, prior to crowdfunding, I was making books already, mm-hmm. But I was doing it at more of a smaller thing just for the artist alley, So like when WonderCon came around, I had a book for that, and then had a book, So I just took it back to what I was doing and what was fun, and like that's what I did.
No, definitely. Because I mean, as you
go ahead.
Sorry, go. Well, I was gonna say, as you might know, I was at Heroes Con, and that was like my first con ever selling. And I had an absolute blast. I'm like, I can keep doing this all the time. Yeah. It's more just, Vaughn hit me up. It was like, hey man, you want to split a table with me? And I was like, man, I've been needing to do that. So it was like, okay, just go. Now I got to schedule more cons. I got to keep doing that because it's fun. It's fun to talk to people. It's fun to get their attention. You see their face. They're like, I'm not buying. And then they're like, well, wait, I actually think I might buy it. I'm like, that's a great feeling right there.
Yeah, it's just being around your peers, because like when I did WonderCon, right? It was like, man, I'm around my peers. I'm around guys that make comics. This was before Twitter, crowdfunding, and all this CG thing, right? I was just like, finally, I get to spend a weekend with guys that are creating, and I talk to them online, and we'll talk when the con comes up, because then you go to work, you go to your 9 to 5, and there's like, oh, well, you still collect comic books? You still read? I was like, oh man, all right, Or some people like, that's so cool. My kid likes comic books. I'm like, I don't think he's gonna like mine, Well, at least with the ones I was doing at the time, they're more for like mature, And
sure.
So it's it was cool with it, and then internet comes and it's like, oh wait, we can network and be around like-minded people more often. So it's fun, man. It's fun. So like now the cons are back, and what I've been saying too, because this is it gets controversial with some people, because I feel crowdfunding isn't the only way to make a comic. If you can get it out there, you can find a way, you can get a second job, whatever it takes, bro, to get it made. People are buying stuff that's made, but not buying ideas. So when you're at a con and you have something tangible, they're buying your book. People don't want to buy your idea. They want to buy your book. And I always hear this, well, put it out there, put 3 pages out there and see if people want it. That's a falsehood, because you don't have the reach and audience. But what you do have the reach and audience is if you have your book finished and you're at the con and people are buying it and buying it and buying it and buying it because it's right in front of them. It's like, this is your chance to buy it. You want it or not?
I mean, yeah, whenever you can take away any sort of step between the person and the product. I mean, that goes as far as like when you put a link on Twitter, if you put a link tree, well, now it's 2 clicks versus 1 click. So now you just actually, nipped some people off that may have bought it. I think the stats show that they say the less clicks, the more likely they are to buy. And it's, translate that to in person, I had like my link for my email list. And like, hey guys, I'm going to have an audiobook soon. But it's just like, people are like, okay, I don't really care about soon. Like, okay, well, maybe when I see you again, I'll look at it then when it's done. Like,
you know what I would do? I would be in front of my table. People will walk by. Say you're walking by. I'm like, hey man, how's your con going? And I hand you my book as I ask you the question. So now you have my book in your hand. And then you're telling me how your con's going. And now you're automatically thinking, you look down. It's just like human nature. You look down. And then you start looking at it. And then I pitch my book while you have my book in your hand. And then I say, hey man, hey, if you like it, let me get you another one. That's my display. I don't want you to get the one with all the fingerprints on it. I think it has some Cheeto stains. Let me get you a brand new one. How many do you want? Or do you want it with the shirt? And then it's like, boom, like the sales are right there, bro.
Yeah, you got to mention it again. And like, I mean, half the battle is just getting the person to the table. And it's funny because like me and Vaughn, we were fucking hassling every single person that walked by. I had a pretty good one because I would just randomly ask them like, hey, you ever worked customer service before? Because my book is a comedy customer service thing. And I'm in an uphill battle at this con too, because I'm trying to sell a novel at a Comic-Con, right? But yeah, that usually pulled them in. And then also kind of like narrowed down the people that might be interested in my book. But the people across from us, man, they were not bugging anyone. They're not bugging anyone. And they were not selling like at all. Like any of the people.
You got it, because they're not going to notice you. So like the thing I always say is like, how's your con doing? I seen another person do this where they're doing a raffle and they'll raffle off like a key issue. They're like, hey, you got a 3-day pass? Sign up for our free raffle. We're going to raffle this off and then raffle. And then it's like, come, because now I guarantee you're going to come back to the booth. Right. Yeah. And what was that investment? A $50 key? Yeah, we got this Spider-Man blah, 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 or first appearance of this, $50 key. But, hey, that's going to bring a person back, and if they don't, and sometimes they don't even come back. They raffle it off. The winner doesn't come back. And, now it's like, No,
definitely. And that's the nice thing is because, you always hear too, like, oh, I'll come back. I'm just going to, be around the con. And 9 out of 10 times that's like a polite, fuck off. But, every now and again, they were being honest and they come back. And I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one guy, he was like a dad, and at the time I was selling this comic book called The Port. I'm like, hey, man, if you like Game of Thrones mixed with like, I think I said NYPD Blue or The Wire, I'm like, you're going to love this because it's like street, but it's like urban crime fiction, but you don't know who can die at any time. I forgot what the actual pitch was, you know, but he actually came back and he told his kids, they're like, come on, Dad, we're tired. He's like, listen, I walked around this whole con. I told this gentleman I'll be back and I'm going to buy his shirt. And I was like, God bless you, sir. God bless you. Hey, thank you.
No, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, if you're interested in a Western right now, you know, there's $5 for how many pages is it? Is it 20 again or 20? Okay. Yeah. So
we got the standard cover is going for $5, but if you wanted the Preston Acevedo cover, that's a beautiful cover. It's going for $25. And I'm only going to print up 100 of those. And actually, out of those, only 90 are available because 5 are going to me, a couple to the kids, and 5 are going to Preston for his comps, and that's it. So,
hold on to faith, Asmat. Hold on to faith. He's still easily going to show up. All right. So let's talk some stuff, right? So I mean, you're officially out of CG, right? Like, or you just like, well, I'm not CG. You know, because there is that kind of that thing. Like, what is CG now?
Yeah, I feel there's a stigma that comes with CG, right? And that stigma is anything like Ethan or Malin or Shane kind of do. It's like you kind of get tied to it, right? And so I was tired of always like having the, you know, I'm trying to pitch my book, and now it's like anything Ethan does, I get, well, you're CG, so you like this, and it gets tiresome, bro. It really does. And then you start to notice hypocrisy in it too, you know, and it's just like, you know, I'm not a comic book pro. I'm just, this is getting silly. It's more drama now. I'm just, it's not feeding the creative, you know, mindset, you know, and then too, it's like, even with going back and forth with the Ripperverse, I'm like, damn, that was kind of a waste of time, man. And
dude, it takes so much. Like, I don't do it like that much. I mean, maybe it appears like that, but I'm like, I have my days where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna fuck with somebody today or something like that, right? Or it's like, but I'm not always like that, and it's just like when I am in that, that's my fucking day, dude. Even if I only reply like 10, maybe 20 times, that's, you know, however much, like that ends up taking the whole fucking day. And I know it's the same amount of time sink for the other people that you see on Twitter constantly tweeting replying at every single thing that they got. And it's just like, dude, just put a pause to it. But it's like, but that's not your brand. Your brand is drama. So, well, good luck with that, man. I just, you know.
Yeah, and then you get like people say this doesn't exist, but it does for us little guys, right? Because you get hey, I would back your book, but I don't know if it's true, but you still hear it to where it like, man, this, what the fuck, man? Where you hear like, yeah, I would back your book, but I'm still waiting on all these other books that I backed and I haven't got it, and I don't trust it. So let me just back your book when it's done. Like, you hear all these stories, and you look at some of the refund in the comment sections of some of these bigger campaigns that have gotten stiffed, and you're just like, fuck, man. That's
so rough. I mean, I don't hear it, but that's because I'm selling a novel on Amazon. I might hear it when I, you know, put up a crowdfunding campaign, but nobody's waiting for their Amazon book. It's there 2 days and I'm not paying shipping, so like, a lot easier.
Like what Brian says too, I get nervous with singing. Birthday songs get me nervous, and you know, so I don't want to sing birthdays to people. I don't want to.
Well, so I mean, the guilty by association thing, it's one of those things where it's like, is it fair? No. Does it happen? Yes. Fucking yes, it does. Especially when you're like, we are a group. So it's like, yeah, the association is going to happen in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's unavoidable. And what these like some people that I reply to, and even when it's, you know, civil conversation with somebody, and I'm like, listen, just, you know, it looks like to me, and, you know, me now is a lot more informative of what CG is compared to me like a year ago. Completely different. The only thing I knew about CG was, that's the EVS thing. That's it. So it's just like EVS, and then like people look at it like that. It's EVS, it's John Malin and Shane Davis, and there's a few other people that, like, you know, do drama for him, and they're really small. Like, that's kind of all you think about it. And that was me with like I had no idea what the fuck anti-CG was. Like, you know, I got thrown in that category, and I'm like, I don't know. Like now, the people that I know that are anti-CG, I'm like, I know who they are now, but I didn't at the time. And I'm like, you guys are doing your disservice trying to, you know, just wave it off. It's like, oh, it's just this one group that just hates us, and it's like, no, dude, that's just what it looks like to like the average person. You know, like not everyone's a deep nerd lore into the CG biblical lore, you know?
Here's the dirty secret, right? The anti-CG is the biggest customers of CG. The biggest fucking customers of CG. And you know why they're so mad? Because they believed in this movement. They spent cash in this movement. They spent time and money and supported these creators, man. And now they're just like getting stiffed, right? And so now it's like, well, oh, you know what? Fuck you. Like, you know, and that's where this energy comes from. Oh, it's not hatred, it's not jealousy. It's nah, dude, you did me wrong, and I'm gonna get my pound of flesh. And that's really what I see. And that's what,
and some of them are not customers anymore though, which is the sad part. They were the biggest customer, and now they're just like, yeah, fuck, I'm done with this nerd shit.
Yeah, and they might have been done with just comics in general, or at least comics on crowdfunding or in the internet space. Some of them are around, some of them aren't, you know?
Yeah. So one thing I kind of want to like bring up too, because with the whole thing with you like trying to quietly leave, and obviously that didn't happen. And then what it looks like to, you know, people, because perception is obviously not reality, but that's what ends up happening. And I think what it looks like to a lot of people that saw this, they're just like, oh man, that was like a quick switch. But to me, I'm like, I don't think this was that quick. So like, how long was this in your head going where you're just like, I need to make a move? Like, and you mentioned your wife was having issues with, you know, things people you're streaming with.
The wife wasn't really an issue in me like leaving CG. Like there was just like what did it for me? Well, two things, right? When Ethan said, and Ethan's like, he owns the trademark for CG. So what he says CG is, that's what it is, right? That's how I interpret it, right? So when he says, I don't want CG to grow, and he puts it in this context of, well, because if CG grows, that means people are getting canceled and blah, blah, blah. But like, wait a minute. It's like, I thought CG growing is bringing in new creators, and you have these creators that were canceled out of the mainstream becoming mentors to these new creators which are coming out, right? And so
did he say that, or is that just like,
no, that's what he said. He said, I don't want CG to grow. So, and then he's like, well, it's because if CG is growing, that means creators got canceled out of the mainstream, and I don't want people to get canceled. I want them to have their jobs, right? And so it's like, okay, that now you're not really.
Well, I'm a little dumbstruck right now because, I mean, obviously you've heard the very simple business, you know, that logic of if you ain't growing, you're dying, right? Like, that's just
you know. So I'm just thinking, okay, maybe, and I get it. Like, you got a lot of, like me, right? I have a 9-to-5, and I do comic books I save up and use my hard-earned money to publish comic books, and you know, I put it on the, you know, crowdfunding sites to try to recoup, you know. But if I don't, I can still put it out. You know, that's my choice, right? But there's some people that need to pay their bills from this. So I get it, where I can even empathize with that. Like he's saying, hey man, you know, times is rough. These guys that don't have the 9-to-5s, I really want to take care of them. I don't want it to grow because, you know, times is rough, man. You know, so I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, then why am I here? Why am I here if this isn't supposed to grow? If this isn't supposed to like influence and create new art and create books to come out and help the new creator be mentored correctly about this craft that we all love, right? So that was that.
To grow,
yeah. So that was that, and then he started. So that was like one seed planted. And I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong place and thinking. Or things evolved, and it's cool if things evolve. That's fine, you know. And then it's then EVS says, hey, this CG is my fan base, and basically, if you play right, you can make some money off of my fan base. But this is my fan base.
I mean, that's what everybody sees. It's like it's very obvious that it's like, hey, play nice, and you might get a chance to be on a show, and then you're going to get a bump in your campaign.
So to me, how I'm thinking is like, yo, man, that he's right. This is his fan base. Like people buy his books, so I need to work on my own, because being here in this whole grab and ore thing, that just me like that doesn't. That's just like, I don't know. It just seems weird, Now, and you understand, I've been promoting people and doing it for a minute and trying to figure it out, how to get books made, how to do this. And so those two things plant the seed. And then Jimmy Reyes leaves CG, and he left to not bring shame on it, even though he did, And like I said, every backer has the right to drag Jimmy. And that's fine, because I got ripped off by Jimmy too, right? Mm. So I'm not going to tell the backers how they should feel about that, because that's not my place. But Jimmy left CG. He didn't talk bad about anyone, and like how I look at it is like you find in your darkest moment you find Christ. And people are like, oh, that's a cop-out. No, it's not a cop-out. In your darkest moment, you find Christ and you turn to him. That shouldn't be mocked. Like for EBS to say, oh, you shouldn't pray to no one but John Malin. Yeah, you're mocking Christ at that. When you say,
well, it's very, very ironic. Then you look at that and then what happened with the Dungeoneers. Yeah. And it's just like, there's a little bit of a double standard here.
I'm just like, you know what? That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was, for me, that was my test. Like, are you going to follow money or are you going to follow me? Mm-hmm. And God knows, Christ knows, it's never about money. He's giving me so much money. I gave away more money than I ever lost because of Christ. So it's like, bro, you can't buy me off on this. And so I was just like, I'm just going to step away, and then, I'm having these backroom discussions with Katie and DMs, and she's like, is it just, you just want to separate from them? I'm like, you know what? Maybe you're right. I'll just separate from them. I'll just step back, from them, but then I'm thinking, man, I'm still attached to the name. When you claim CG, you're still attached to it, So it was just like, maybe I just leave quietly. And then, even in the whole launch stream with Katie, it was just me trying to protect her, trying to protect CG, not trying to get a clippable moment from Student of God, who's now in the chat. I'm like, oh man,
what, me? That's me. That's my ultimate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from you, from him, whoever. You know? Yeah. But because I'm like, dude, the whole wife thing was like, I should have told Mint, and had I known she was gonna show up, but it's just this weird thing, because I'm also like a freedom of speech person. I don't like telling people what they say, what they can do, as long as it doesn't hurt like kids or anything. Like, have at it. It's legal, whatever, No,
yeah, so, I think you responded well to that. Like, you're obviously allowed to, like, you didn't want to offend, tell Katie who she can't have on, so you kind of just like walked away and then apologized. Yeah,
and then Mint has always been a real kind and a good supporter, and. She backs my books. Like, I value my customers. So I was like, what am I going to say? Hey, man, you can't be here because I failed to tell you, so I'm just like, how do we, but, so people are like, oh, you didn't leave quietly. It's like, dude, I messaged both of them privately and said, and then, and then I'm getting DMs from Riley, and I'm like, I'm just done with CG. I feel like I'm waiting for table scraps. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm waiting for pick me. And it's like, no, I just, that's Ethan's audience. I respect it. Let me just back out and get my own. That's why.
Well, yeah, you get backers, but are you getting readers? And at some point it's kind of like, I'll take somebody who's just going to give me money. Right. But like, I mean, the real goal is to get readers, fans.
Right. And here's the thing. I know my audience, man. I got people from JDA's audience. I got people from War Campaign's audience. I got people from different audiences, man. So it's like, like my audience isn't strictly CG. even though I'm getting promoted as mostly CG, like my audience is not strictly CG. So it's like how I need to build my own audience. And for me to build my own audience, I need to be able to go everywhere, you know?
Need to be independent.
That's what it is. So,
yeah,
you know, you can't have that. We can't have that. If I leave CG, that makes CG look bad. So the narrative needs to be, I need to be bad for me, because it can't possibly be CG doing anything wrong.
Well, it's this whole controlling the narrative thing.
Yeah, it's power and control.
Yeah, and that'll bring us into, and well, real quick before I dive into that, I just want to mention it's like with my whole perception of what CG was, you know, it's just these like few guys and everyone else is part of that club. But yeah, it's like once I like got in more invested into that, I start to see these smaller groups like the Michael Bancroft and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, so CG is some independent things, but it's like that's not what the perception is to the general person. Like the general person that walks by and like, you know, glances at CG, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, about having to control the narrative, I guess, right? And so this is kind of like I want to go back into like, you know, how we started. And interestingly enough, I don't think you know our first interaction. I don't think anyone really does. So my first interaction with you guys was on Frog Tony's stream. He had an open invite to review Alpha Core, and I was really sick. I was under the weather, and I popped on. Did you even know that was me, or?
You know what? I saw your name around in like the CG circles, you know. So it's like
I wasn't in any CG circles at that point.
I thought I saw you around. Maybe I'm getting you confused with Student of God.
No, I literally that was like I didn't know what the hell was going on. I kind of knew who EVS was, and then because I would hang out on a Drink with the Crazies chat. Okay. And then he recently got stream sniped by Frog Tony, right? And that's kind of I saw that, and I saw there was an open invite. I'm like, let me just go talk to these guys, right? And it was I had a nice conversation with all you guys.
Did he label you as a we're gonna talk to a Ripperverse fan?
No, I popped in like randomly, right? Because it was the link was there, and I popped in, and he was just like, "Oh," and it's like, "Okay, you're a Ripper fan," and he was very nice, right? And he's, you know, it was very nice at that moment. You were really nice to me, and that's when you told me you're like, "Hey, I got a book coming out. You should read it and do a review or something like that." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll hold you to that," and then I did,
and I liked the review because it was like two Marines. And you guys nailed everything I said, like, because you're like,
I hate that review, man. I wish I could take it down, but like
this is like what is this, a dad book or something? Like, this is something I write with my daughter. I'm like, yes. I think your co-host said that. I'm like, yes, he gets it because that's what it is, man.
I'm just like, so I hate talking to a camera. I mean, everybody knows this. Like talking to a camera by yourself, it's so awkward.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, I had my buddy live in my house for a minute. I'm like, yeah, you want to just like, talk about some of these comics with me? But yeah, it was just like some of the commentary he's making, and I'm just like, what are you saying now, dude? But I'm like, at this point, I'm like, nobody's gonna see this. I'm just trying to get more confident talking to a camera at this point. But it's like now that it was EFAP'd and became a thing, I'm like, oh, I can't take it down now. Like, fuck.
War crimes. Crimes.
So, but yeah, that was interesting. And the only reason that got brought up again, my review of that was because I did a review of fucking whatever the book was by Turner, and it was just this weird thing. I got like pulled into a bunch of fucking. I got people threatening to blacklist me from shows from people that they saw I was like friends with or whatever, and I'm just like,
wow.
I was immediately like, yeah, you can fuck off, right? Go fucking tell them to kick me off. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't fucking like kick me off fucking Twitter or YouTube. What the fuck do I care? I got my job. I got my fucking kids. Like, what,
yeah. You're like, I got my bus. I got everything.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing. And then I see that like, Tony EFAP'd my review, and I was like, this is weird. And like, I don't know. So there's a little like background of that. Was that kind of like hey, we're trying to target him, or was that just
everything's content? Everything's content. So I think like if I'm looking back at that, it's like, hey, this guy gave a harsh review and he's friendly with Rippaverse. So it's like, that's how I think it got framed at, But like I said, like I hit you up in DMs. I'm like, I think I responded to you with like, bro, are you trying to get like publicity? Because I'll have you on my channel and we'll promote your stuff. Because that's what a lot of people do is they attack someone because no one's giving them a helping hand. No one's giving them promotion, So I was like, are you looking for promotion? Because I'll help you out, bro. Or what do you need,
No, I was just fucking
doing the asshole thing. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna nitpick the shit out of your first paragraph, and you know what I mean, and not read the whole chapter, and like so.
Yeah.
I was look, like, listen, this guy attacking you for promotion because being in CG too, like you have to have this like little armor that you have on and be ready to go and be ready to witty and strike back. And I'm like, dude, I didn't get into comics to be that guy. I got into comics to create cool stuff and talk with creators, bro. And that's where I'm happy right now, just doing that.
Yeah. No, because I was just like, man, this has got to be straight up white knighting. I'm like, this is crazy. And it was like, and my criticism over Turner's book was so fucking light. Like I made it as light as possible, and then he just was instantly like, "You're lying about my book to ruin my my product, and like debate me, bro." And I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?" I'm like, "I just want to like review books, like honestly, what's going on here?" And so then it was just like, look, I was like, I honestly reviewed Blood of the Sword, like that was my honest review. I don't think it was a good review because, I was blasé about it, but at the same time, I think I said some good stuff in there. And I also kind of get the feeling like, I don't think anyone else is giving Richard the criticism on this that he probably should have to maybe, have a better product out there. And I'm like, that doesn't seem fair. Like, that's kind of worse.
Yeah, no, I like, I got, there was a couple of people that were like, hey man, can I honestly tell you about your book, and they like shredded it. And I was like, good, because it helped me improve. Or, like even some criticism is like, okay, I didn't convey that message strongly enough. Or, then a lot of it too is like, yeah, I hear you, but it was 20 pages. Like, timing and pacing has to be, if I try to add that, I would lose this. So it's,
you need constructive criticism.
Yeah,
I mean, people can give you like good criticism too, and like honest criticism, but it still might not make the product better. It's just might, like, if you can't listen to everyone, like trying to filter out who's got the better criticism, like that's a skill of its own. Who you can trust. So yeah, I was just like, man, like the whole thing with CG and like tearing apart Rippa was like he can't handle criticism. I'm like, but I'm giving really small criticism, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And like the problem wasn't with you because you were just like, no, it's just like he bought the book, he liked it, or he,
well, he's just saying his opinion. Because Tony's argument was like, he's not giving valid criticism because it's not objective. He's saying what he would have done. And my thing was like, bro, if a dude is invested to think about what he's done, then it's a victory for the creator. It's when I was like, I don't know, I couldn't finish it. That's when you lost, right? So I'm just like, okay, if guys are actually thinking about what they would have done and I would have done different, then they're actually engaged and excited about the story. And they care about the story because you only do improvements for things you care about. So I'm just like, that's perfect. That's great. That's what
I care.
Is based off of.
I care about story writing. I want people to, and look, this is my thing because I don't want to get into a whole like, oh, is art, can art be objective or is it objective or is it subjective? Because I'm in the camp where I'm like, art is subjective, right? And so it's just like, everything is my opinion, or everything is that person's opinion when they're reviewing stuff. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is an objective critique. Godbo is like probably tweaking out right now. He's like, no, it's objective. But it's just, I'm like, yeah, no, that's why I'm saying it's my opinion. I mean, that's why people watch certain reviewers, because you see a reviewer, you see their takes, and you build a trust between that reviewer, and you're like, oh, I trust this guy's critiques of stuff, so then they can consume whatever product and give their opinion on it, and then you don't have to go ahead and buy that thing or whatever,
Yeah, or
it's kind of what I was going for.
Or you're like, hey, this guy's real picky, but I saw one of his things, and he kind of likes it, so I'm probably going to really enjoy it, So it's like that you know how to gauge him too. So
yeah, and that's why it's just like, man, if people don't criticize things, like, honestly, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of reviewing anything? Like, there's no point of doing this. Like, there's just stop, turn the camera off, because you're wasting everyone's time, because you're only going to say good things.
You gotta get a voice changer so no one knows it's you, and you can just be like,
Right. And I might be a little harsh with that opinion too, because there probably is some value even if they don't say bad things, or whatever. It's generally only review things that they generally think are good, but that's just my opinion, about how somebody should criticize, which, you can tell my opinion to fuck off, whatever. What is this? Okay, so, and either all criticism is valid or none is valid. I mean, that goes into a whole other discussion. What is valid criticism? And I kind of don't want to dive into that, because again, everyone's going to have a different opinion of semantics about what is valid. But okay, I got. I wanted to show this clip forever ago. We're gonna go into a little thing that you posted today. Let's see. This is just for entertainment, guys, right here.
No Brooks were harmed in the filming of this.
No.
Oh, this is valid.
I love this. If my got a hold of this book and said, "Mom, I love this book. I want to keep this. I love this book," I would never take it away from them. Never. And I want these out of my house.
Take whatever you got and get out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.
God, whoever found that clip, bravo! Like, perfect accent and everything.
Well done.
Yeah.
This unicorn that we defended you on all the time when Butt Sauce and the swamp were making fun of you. Oh, you remember? Matt.
Also, I gotta say, keep calling me Butt Sauce, please. I mean, I've been called Butt Sauce. It took Tony way too long to figure out Butt Sauce, to put that together. People remember Butt Sauce, so if they remember me, fine, cool. That's a win for me.
That's funny. Hey, hold on. They didn't even I defended myself a lot more than anyone's ever defended me, and that's just weird. That's
what I'm saying. I'm criticizing it, and they're trying to trash me on my criticism, and it's just like, you're just revealing right now that none of that was honest. That you're blind faith fucking trying to defend somebody that was a part of the group. Somebody's criticizing a CG book. We must defend.
Exactly.
Deploy defenses.
That's what it is. Because that's where Tony was like, "Hey, I promoted your book because you were CG. I put up with you making fun of my teeth because you were CG." I was like, "Bro, I thought you promoted my book because you liked my book. I thought you wanted to. I thought you liked this book and wanted to introduce it to your audience because you respect your audience. I didn't think it was just because of CG. So it's weird, man. Again, the hypocrisy that I no longer have to live with is amazing.
It's not the cream rises to the top. It's whoever is a part of CG gets to rise to the top. Whoever is the most CG gets to rise to the top.
Oh yeah, it's the grab a oar or grab a whatever, man. They ain't grabbing oars, bro. They grabbing something.
Oh man.
R was making fun of your unicorn, and you said he's not.
Gargoyles, psychics, everything's ungodly. Dark's at it.
War campaign. Yeah, that too. Oh, and remember the time.
I mean, she's obviously just trying her hardest to act right now. This is just hilarious.
I'm glad her filters are working, because if they weren't, oh god. Holy shit.
I was actually going to make that exact comment, honestly. Fucking, I'm I'm sorry. Who wants to like tune into the 40-year-old woman like tearing up a fucking fantasy comic by a small independent creator? I'm like, okay,
hey, bro, just keep that hat on so that the hairline don't slip, bro. That's all I got. You know, that's only my advice.
Jesus, oh man,
you got a better hairline than all of us, Bats.
I have a beautiful hairline.
I'm like, fuck his Lego hair. Like that was just about me being jealous, bro.
Yeah. It takes away about like 50% of like all insults. You can't call me bald, you know? Just
you fucking full-headed bastard. Sounds way better than bald bastard.
Bald sauce. Yeah, I mean, this hair, thankfully, man, it's surprising. Nobody's ever pointed out my egghead. I guess because they only see me from the front. But I'm like, I got bullied relentlessly for the shape of my head. I haven't heard any of that. You know, and probably now I will.
Right? You were like a Marine, right, or something?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps.
You had to freaking shave it all off. So that's probably where, you know.
Well, no, I mean like high school, like high school, grade school. I got bullied relentlessly for my head shape. But you know, yeah, that's why I forgot where I was going with that. But I was just like, I need my hair to cover that, because if my hair goes away, it's just gonna show my fucking egghead. You know? Yeah. But yeah, like I was in the Marines, had to shave it. Yeah. Where's the debate? It's coming. Just stay tuned. I'm gonna fucking kill this dude.
Time when Tony and I would, defend you against these assholes, and we supported you. Not like just me and him, but a lot of people like
defended against these assholes who had valid criticism.
Who bought my book? Like,
yeah,
who bought my book? Like,
Yeah. Also, I always had to bring this up. I don't remember if it was the stream that you were on, but I think it was when Tony said, because I made the criticism about like I wish your book had more world building, because like such a common fault that fantasy writers have is they over world build. And I was like, I think you did the opposite thing. I wish there was more world building into there, right? And I think you got more world building in the second comic, right?
Well, yeah,
in the sequel.
Yeah, I said so world building, like I hate when, and this is just my pet peeve, right? Others might like it because like I kind of want to know what world I'm getting into before the story starts, and that's fine. Like that's a preference. But for me, I said what I want to do is think of this, right? You're filming just two people, right? Is Mango and Valen, right? We're filming them, and that's the only world that you need to worry about is where they're at in that conversation. Now, as the lens widens out, we see more of it. And the lens widens out, we see more of it, And so that's what I want to do. So by like the fourth issue, we're like, oh, okay. He just widened the lens and have it go out that way. Because I thought that's more of a realistic way, or more of a just an authentic way of making.
No, typically that is how you want to do it generally. But I'm like, just throw a little like speck in there, right? A little like, that's why I was just said like a little hint that maybe that something about. I was
trying to do that with the breadcrumbs, right? With Mango saying, "Hey, mispronouncing my name would be death." So I was like trying to a little culture here, a little.
Okay, was in the first book? I might have missed that.
That was in the first book. So it's like a little bit of that. Yeah. I put that in there. A little bit of story world building with the debt going on, because that was like a running gag that still goes, and it's actually going to turn into something meaningful, like when you find out about it. So there was a little bit of it, but again, it's like 20 pages, and it's like I need to have action in these 20 pages. So
yeah, absolutely, and that's also what, like I said, I don't remember if I mentioned it live or not, but I'm like, I kind of really hate reviewing like 20-page comics, because I'm like, it's just not enough to judge something off of. Like it's too little. But no, where I was going with that, it was Tony like immediately after that to like back up his point or whatever. He was like, yeah, like look at Lord of the Rings. Like there's like no world building in Lord of the Rings. Like we're like the movies. And I'm like, I fucking tweaked, dude. I was just like, that was by far the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, I seriously can't think of anything more dumb than somebody who's actually read or watched Lord of the Rings and thinks that there's no world building done in that.
Yeah, in the movie they did all in the beginning, right up front.
It's all every second of Lord of the Rings. There's some sort of world building.
And you know, like the joke with 30 pages later, he's describing a tree for 30 pages, and you're like,
he doesn't. That's such a meme. He doesn't actually do that. But yeah, no, it's like the Council of Elrond. That scene is, you get to meet the little bit of dwarf. You find out the dwarves hate the elves, and in Hobbiton, like literally every scene, there's some sort of world building. We have to go to the mines of Moria. There's a fucking Balrog. What the fuck is a Balrog? Everything. I'm just like, how is this a point being made right now? So I have to bring it up every single chance I can, because that was the most moronic thing I've ever heard. And he's also coming at it from saying what does he always say, that I'm, because he has a critical eye for media, or media literacy. That's right. He's media literate, and I'm just like, that was literally the most media illiterate thing I could ever hear.
Right. I say this about Tony. Tony, okay, there's people that can write and the people know what's going to work, right? So, like, bragging about media literacy, right? So you thought this frog character with the wrestling suit and this blue is going to translate to what audience? And I know what he says is kids. Oh, kids are going to like it. Yeah. Have you studied the kids market? Like kids, like it just seems like a boomer move, like a grandma thing. Like, oh, kids will like this. It's like, no, kids probably won't, because I don't think what kids are reading. And you're like, what is Tony, like 40-year-old man with no kids? Now he's like trying to dip into the kids market. Like it's
I thought he had a kid.
I think he's grown though. So it's like,
oh, okay.
That's what I think. Like media literacy, you would think you would do more. Learning of what kids are really buying, the buying trends and the this and that. And
I mean, I disagree with this, but it's like the amount of fucking kids that watch Squid Games, it's insane.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should be watching Squid Games, but it is a fact. So if they're watching shit that violent and intense, it's like they're gonna look at the frog like his little,
like
Alex fucking oh goddamn, I forgot it was the Turn of the Frogs game, man.
I got my little 6-year-old son. I say, do you want me to get you that? And he'll say yes or no. And some of the things he's like, his face will light up. Like, so it's weird, So I don't think he has that much media literacy. I know Tony's actually a good writer, but if he got to,
I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, what he sent me was pretty good, and I'm kind of a pushover though, to be honest. Like I'm really supportive. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool. I did have he sent me something, and I had a little bit of criticism about it, but for the most part, I was like, oh yeah, that's good, man, that's cool, man. But man, like I just like that doesn't seem like a hot item, I think he could think of something better, but he's so invested in that, But hey, we won't know. Hey, maybe when Katie launches him on her channel and everyone in CG is forced to buy it, then we'll find out.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting trying to sell that to kids at a con, because I mean, like anything, they want to buy something that like they've already seen, something like that, they see dragons on TV, they want to buy the dragon-like thing or something like that.
Bro, when I was 9 years old and stuff like that, or around that age, I saw Spawn for the first time, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but I need that in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
I fucking need that in my life. I don't know what that is. Like, I'm buying the Punisher just based off the cool covers. I didn't know, like, I would just look at the covers and look at the art, and then I actually started buying issues and started reading them, in order.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, like that frog thing is I don't know, man. Like, how young of an audience are you gonna go for? I mean, maybe if you're going for kindergarten, I guess, like
yeah.
If you're going like if you're traveling into like Dogman territory, maybe. But Dogman is
again, it would. I guess it would work as a comedy, that type of character.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. But
I mean, like a comedy that like adults can relate to,
like a SpongeBob kind of thing.
Like older maybe. I mean, SpongeBob, I feel like just had really good writing, like just really, really good writing. I don't know.
Yeah,
and it was on a good network television channel.
Great time, though. Yeah, it was a great time. Like great time in the culture, just the whole culture movement the movement as a culture. Just you had kids that were young enough to get some of the references, kids older teenagers getting the more risque references, and it coexisted. So.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Well, we don't need to keep guessing what his fucking target audience should be or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep playing this.
Like BA and others that went out of their way and backed your campaign several times, and also promote.
Yep. So
Really?
you owe them. What, they backed your campaign 7 times?
I sold my book. What do you want me to do? I sent them.
No, you're on a leash, dude. He hit that retweet button, man. He hit that retweet button. That means you owe him something.
Holy shit! I need a fucking shot collar.
Go through your fucking Twitter right now. Look at everyone who retweeted your stuff. You fucking owe them, dude.
Oh god, I do. What was I thinking?
Promoted.
Yeah.
You. That can go as well. Okay, I don't even want to stretch it. I want to break it. I am done. So this is going to be I'm going to make a video bring the rest, including the shirts. I don't want these books in my house. I want them gone.
This is tainted. I don't want it. Whatever it is, it's tainted. Whatever it is, we'll give it to. I give it up to God. I'm a God warrior, and I don't want someone with tainted anything in beliefs doing anything with my family.
I don't want my children reading them because I don't want to have to tell them that the writer, oh yeah, he's great, he's good, he's really, really nice. No, because the writer rather go to short arm stream and laugh as they sit there and drag me and my family through the mud.
What is she even talking about? You dragging her family through the mud?
Ah, man. See, I leave one thing to not be associated, and now that I'm, shout out to Raptor.
Oh man. His streams are way too long. But
Raptor and Pan have a really good show, bro.
I know. I've seen every now and again, but I don't have fucking 4 hours out of the day to watch.
They're late as fuck. I'm like, man, but I'm saying this here, and they're very entertaining, and they're like, I see these Commonscape streams. They're a little dry. Raptor and Pan
it's usually all the same content.
They're smart, they're witty, and they know the lore. Like, if we're going to attract audiences, and audiences are going to get undecided, or undecided audiences are looking for someplace, man, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think one thing is just like with them, they're very entertaining, but it's like at some point it's almost the opposite with EVS, right? It's like, all right, you guys are talking about Katie Did again. But it's like, of course, like they're talking about Heroes Con, and of course I'm like, okay, I got to tune in and got to see what's up, like it's not an every show thing for me, but
right. Maybe that's what it is. I'm like, all right, but I don't know, man. Like, I've been listening to a lot of streams, and they know a lot of the lore, bro. They've been there, and it's refreshing because you hear a lot of these people that are newer to Commonscape, hence quote unquote new CG, trying to explain what Commonscape is to people that have been here for years, people that have spent thousands of dollars. It's so fucking comical, bro. Like, people that they don't know that they've been on this channel, and they've been on this channel, and they man, dude, it's
too much, and it's
crazy.
Gay.
Talk about like,
no, I know, it's crazy. Like, they talk about the Old Testament, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, even something as like simple as when I commented on your post about, like, to this video, right? And I'm like, well, was my criticism valid or invalid now? I'm confused. And people are like commenting like, what criticism? I'm like, bro, like she mentioned me and my criticism in the fucking video. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know what's going on. Why are you even commenting right now? Like, go back. Go learn what the fuck's going on.
Bro, it's tribalism. It's team sports.
Yeah.
It's hey, Katie's promoting smaller creators, so she can't do no wrong. We'll overlook the fact that she's reading private DMs and making it a big situation, even though a guy is trying to leave CG quietly. And you know what's crazy? How many people are gonna make videos? I lost a friend, and they never hit me up in DMs. All these people make it. I lost a friend. Really? You know who hit me up in DMs? Raptor. Raptor was like, "Hey, bro, you want to come on our stream? Fuck these haters." Like,
yeah,
that's the dude you guys told me was an enemy, and now all of a sudden he's hitting me up like a friend. He's actually treating me like a fucking human being, right? But so it's like it's puzzling. But I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm also. It's one thing too when you get dragged into something and then you got to have personal beef with somebody because you got dragged in, right? And obviously that's happening to you. And then I look at somebody like Katie did, and I'm just like I don't have I've talked about her and all this other shit, but I'm like I don't want to like beef with her or anything like that. I don't know if anything's going to continue from this or whatever. Maybe it will because I'm watching this video. But like literally the only like interaction we've had besides a small mention was like when I got brought up with this review of my video that we talk about, and it was like, yeah, we got a video from Bat Sauce. Oh, Bat Sauce, we all know how honest he is. And I'm like, you don't know, like you literally just heard my name yesterday.
Yeah,
what are you doing? So it's just this is like this trying to control the narrative bullshit. It's all fucking weird, man. It's all weird and gay. And a lot of people just looking and they're just like, okay, gonna walk right away. That's too weird for me. But I'm used to weird though. So
there's people that are so invested in it still, So like people they were so invested in it, they spent money. They're like, this is not it. And they leave, right? And then you got people that are like, I can't leave. I'm too invested in it. I'm here to stay forever.
Sunken cost fallacy, yeah.
And then there's other people that's like, well, if I could just stick it out, I can be the next CG king if I just stick it out. Just like, who gives a shit, bro? I'm fucking king, bro. I got a god.
4 years later. Yeah, but if you're a king, what does that even get you,
Yeah,
like, you still have to have a name yourself.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's the thing I tell people that I believe a lot of people are mad at the message I bring because I said everything you can do in Comicsgate, you can do without Comicsgate. Everything you can do in Comicsgate, you can do without Comicsgate. So why do I need the label? Why do I need it? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And then when you break it down to a business standpoint, right? It's like, I don't own the trademark. Always saying Comicsgate, right? Keeping that public awareness is adding equity to a trademark that I don't own. So why am I doing work for free?
Yeah. Yeah, and somebody might look at that like, oh, so you're only going to do this if you get something in return. It's kind of like, yeah. Like, what's the most valuable thing in the world? Time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend my time here. I hope to get something out of it, right? Like just a little something.
But then not only do you waste or invest time, we'll say invest time, right? But now it's costing me sales because like, oh, you chill with them. I'm not buying your shit. You're fucking with them. Those people who hate on Eric July, I like his books. And I'm not trying to work for Eric July. But there's people out there that are like, hey, yo, I like your stuff, but you're an asshole.
Yeah, and like something that
like I am. Like I'll be honest with myself. I've been an asshole. But in my head, I'm thinking like, man, I'm protecting a movement that meant so much for me. I'm protecting this and that. But what am I protecting? In the fact, if I'm being honest with myself, what I'm protecting is some 30-year-old or 30-year veteran's ego. That's what I'm protecting. And interest and trademark. That's what I'm protecting. I'm not protecting anything else. So what am I doing it for?
Yeah, it's like anti-independent. But and like some of the most damaging shit that gets people that kind of crossfire. It's like when they were posting that video of a random Rippa fan at a con and just like making fun of him for wearing a Rippa shirt, and it's just like, now you're gonna get all the like Rippa customers to be like, fuck anyone that's associated to CG, and why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Well,
Or when they get Riley just jumping into people's comments, trying to antagonize people and harass them, and whatever, he's joking or whatever. But I'm like, that's just, you obviously have a CG tie, and it's just giving people the wrong impression, and then changes people's perception of what CG is, and whoever has that tag now has to deal with that shit. It's just like, that was unnecessary.
I think too, it's like context too, because the original context, I believe, and Chris Bacon can correct me if I'm wrong, is Chris Bacon took that picture and was like, look, they're out in the wild. That's cool. Like, it wasn't like oh, look at this fool. He's out. It's like, look at they're at a con, they're representing, and that's cool. And so that's the context I took it as, right? Because I kind of knew Chris.
I don't really remember the original post, but as far as I know, doesn't Chris Bacon only make fun of Rippaverse people like all the time? So why else would he post that?
But this came after him actually meeting the Saska sisters and said, he had very kind things to say about. Huh? Yeah, because when they were in line, him and the other dude got kicked out. Chris Bacon was quiet, and he said he actually met the Saska sisters, and he said they were very kind to him. And they were very nice. And
I had no idea this occurred. So maybe that's.
And then he said,
this is another thing. You spend so much time for such a long time going and
right,
spending your time and effort just making fun of these people, and then but they see that because that was over such a long period of time. If you have a change of heart,
he said,
who's to say anyone saw that happen?
Yeah, Well, he said this. He said he had Saska sisters. He said we're very kind to him. And he had a good time. He said Alex came out and said, hey, thank you for the donation. We really appreciate you. He's like, so that was cool. They kind of like meant that. And then he says he went to get his book signed by Eric. Eric kind of like pretended he didn't know who he was. And then when he asked him to sign the police report, that's when Brandon took his the police report in the marker, which is, so it's like, all right, and so like, I think he took the picture after that. We're like, look they're in the wild. Like they're here. Because like you only see like, or I would think from the perception is like, you only like, oh, these guys only wear it and they post it online, but they're not really wearing it out in public, or they only do it for a photo op or whatever. But yeah, it was, seeing that, like he said, just out in the wild, like without, context to it. So, but both sides are so riled up against each other. It seems like an attack, and then it seems like we got to defend. It seems like, so it's like,
honestly, I don't see, like, I think that was my perception of that, especially it's just like, for how long that guy's been attacking, I don't know why I would think anything else, right? Like, that's how that comes off. And it's just one of these things where it's just like, and that's how we get like, I mean, dude, why would you want to be known? Like, your identity, number one, is I hate Eric July. Like, that's insane.
I don't think
you want that to be your identity. Because like that, like I ragged on what is it? Fucking Yanzi about this fucking Shane's wife like forever ago, or I guess not forever ago, but it was just like I had no idea who she was. I had no idea that she was a comic book creator. And then I've seen her pop up, and it's always arguing with Eric July on something or whatever. And then I'm like, holy shit, you create comics too? And so I made a comment. I was just like, Eric July hater first, comic creator second. And I'm like, but like you, like, hey, wake up call. Maybe stop it, because like I'm not the only one who thinks that. I'm sure there's many people that are like, oh, this is just an Eric July hater. And I'm like, that's not how you want people to see you. Like,
right. I don't think Chris is a finance guy. He's like in love with numbers, right? So like I've been on plenty of streams with him where I don't think his thing comes from hate. It comes from truth, right? So he's like, hey, these are the numbers don't lie. And he's been predicting and been right about a lot of stuff, right? I feel that he felt attacked when they said something like, "Oh, this guy wanted a job, and then we distanced ourselves from him and this and that." So, but like that's where he was like played a little bit more defensive. You know what I mean? Because his reputation is very important, to him. So.
Yeah, I get it, but then it's just like, well, don't invest that time and then create your identity being something that like when you're on spending so many, because it kind of happened to you too, man. I mean, like you did a good job of like redirecting that, and I think for the most part nobody sees that, but it's just like anyone tied with Frog Tony on that stream was just like, that's just what you do, dude. You're just a fucking Eric July hater. I'm like, and that's embarrassing. Yeah.
Well, I try to back away from it for the second issue. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. And then with this issue, it's just, I don't know. It's just like, here's the thing, like with Eric July, right? He made some mistakes. I said, I think this is a mistake. Okay. And then we move on. Like, it's just like, oh, he's doing it again. It's just, I already said everything I was going to say,
Yeah.
So
well, I know I've seen other creators really getting in it with Eric, but I mean, it's like for a short time, and I'm like, it's like that he didn't create an identity as an Eric July hater. It's just that was an incident, right? So it's just like I feel like that is how it really should be for most people, not just like you go to, like I said, I'm gonna bring up Frog Tony again. You go to his streams and it's just Eric July, Eric July, Eric July, Eric July. Like, okay, that's your identity, dude.
It's content, it's. That's the magic button, and it's like with like with Eric, right? Like him coming into the scene and then going right after Peter Samedi is like, bro, like what do you but like that Eric is calmed down in a lot of ways,
I know who Peter Samedi is.
Yeah.
See, this is another thing. I don't know what the fuck what incident you're talking about.
So you know what I'm
not saying it didn't happen. I don't know.
No. But like the people that've been around for a long time, that was like, wait a minute, like that, so like I'll say this, man, Eric came in kind of like an asshole, you know what I mean? But I think since then he's mellowed out a little bit, and he hasn't mellowed out with Riley though. Like that was kind of like. But I don't know. Like, look at
bro. The shit with Riley is fucking insane. And I have a clip of him like on a video or whatever where he said like they tracked down his warehouse and it was extremely difficult to do so. And everyone on the internet didn't think that the warehouse existed. It was so hard to find. And yet he found it, and then he went there. And it's just like that is stalker behavior. I don't like fuck that dude.
Well, like I know the background too. Is like. Riley does this silly little thing and it gets stricken, and he loses his Twitter, you know what I mean? So it's like it's been going back and forth, for a minute, and then lying, and then you're bringing up evidence that he is lying. So I can feel Riley's, or I understand Riley's frustration. I understand Eric's frustration.
Is Riley frustrated, or is he just in the game to troll,
No, like it's got into that where now it's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck with you because you.
So then why is he fucking with random fans or the Dungeoneers? Like what the fuck? Like the Dungeoneers like don't even buy anything Rippaverse.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anyone. So it's like he goes in and it's just like it's again like fucking they're all targets. So it's like why antagonize anyone after the Heroes Con thing? There's literally zero Rippaverse association or mention or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right. Or I think because like Eric said, hey, good on you guys or whatever. And it's just okay, so Riley's going to come and antagonize people. It's like, okay, so we're going to not care when shit happens to you. Boo hoo.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, like, here's the thing. That's between Riley and Eric. They're grown men.
Well, it's not. It's not because he starts to bring it to other people. That's the other thing.
I'm just thinking from my perception, right? Like, as far as that is like, because we're talking about why I kind of just like back away from like the Eric July, detracting thing. It's like, bro, like at the end of the day, that's between him and Riley. My opinion or any action I do isn't going to influence it anyway. So what's the point? For me, So, and to, like I said, Eric has been, he's just been focusing on his books, man. And he's trying to avoid it.
No, I mean, it's just, I mean, like, you're not wrong. Like, I do remember, like, some of the early shit with Eric July, and, like, him going on the stream with, what's his name, Mercada. I was like, bro, that's such a mistake. Like, why would you do that, dude? Like, obviously there's things, but it's just like, all that shit was so long ago. And my whole thing is like, I'm more of a Rippaverse fan now because of the Chuck Dixon stuff. I'm really digging it. But like off the gate, I was like, ISOM 1 sucked. I was like, ISOM 2 was an improvement. I'm like, he's an indie creator. I'm like, so like he's got these plans. Maybe he's gonna do something when he's bringing other writers. I'm like, I like that. But like, my whole thing was like, I'm not like a Rippa fan. And you guys are just like really quick to be like, oh, he's just a Rip occultist, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, if you want to think so, fine. Like,
and then I would say this too. I've only heard like one side of the story. I've seen the receipts for this, but there could be a counter argument that I haven't seen. So but then again, it's like, what does that have to do with my comic? Like, it's like, what does that have to do with selling my comic? None of this is it's between them, man. I hope they figure it out. And
like, don't get me wrong, like the EVS model of like, the drama brings the audience there, and then you can sell books. I get that, and it's not like I don't do something a little bit similar with my own channel. Obviously not as successful, but it's just like you can't just do drama like this. This is weird. Like for me, it's more like talk about something that's, fuck.
But you're roboting. Oh no, the internet. Hold on, I'm gonna type your roboting.
Some drama. Some. All right.
Wait,
am I here?
Yeah, you were roboting. It sounded cool, man. It sounded like some like 90s or 80s like disco.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're paused. But yeah, they got you.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm here.
We didn't even show a gun.
I'm here now.
What's going on?
No. Okay. All right. Well, I totally lost my train of thought. I don't remember the fuck I was talking about. Damn it.
Drama. And like, I think drama has its purpose for, like, if it's done well with kayfabe and this and that, and obviously like people like tune in for the drama, but it's like, what are they tuning in for? You know what I mean? Like, they're not tuning in for a book, they're tuning in for the gossip. Like TMZ, right? Like, people are going to tune in and they're going to sell advertising, but are they going to sell a product, other than, I don't know, man. It just, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I feel like there's a happy medium. All I know is that the drama that's occurring on the CG side, that ain't it. Whatever that is, that ain't it. And I'm also not against somebody just like making a fucking drama channel. Like I always said, like, have you ever watched Drama Alert? It's like people would always like shit on him for the content he was making. I'm like, dude, his channel's literally called Drama Alert. But I'm like, but that's got to be what you're about. You can't be like, oh, we're comics. We're about having good comics, and then, but that's not what I see. That's definitely not what I see.
Yeah. Well, I talked to a lot of people in DMs, and I always try to get advice. And one of the person I talked to was Mike Barron. I was like, bro, how do you do this, bro? How do you just stay cool as a cucumber and just freaking be like drama free? And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting.
I think he's in a position where he can be. He's got that notability where it's just like,
he gave me beautiful insight. He's like, listen, you got it. No sarcasm. No negative interactions, no sarcasm, no, like, don't, take an eye for an eye. You just leave it. Just leave it all at the door. Don't even respond to it. Focus on, you know, what matters. You don't focus on the craft, basically. And he's fucking like 100% right. Because it's like, man, like so much energy that could be used in so much more valuable ways than trying to think of something witty and doing a gotcha. Like, who cares, man? Like, I don't know. And it took me a while to get there because I always thought it's like, oh, I'm protecting my brand. I'm protecting this. I'm protecting this movement. I'm protecting my creator, my fellow creators. But what am I really protecting? Like I said, I'm just protecting Ethan's ego. And
no, absolutely. I'm like little like devil's advocate to that, right? Because I'm just like, but how do you get seen? Right. And this is just me trying to like, I'm just conversating, trying to like hypothesize stuff. Right. But it's like, how do you get seen? Right. Because you don't get seen just by being like, look at my book, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I'm not going to say that like everything that they're doing is wrong. Right. There is something to it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because I mean, us creators were always trying to figure out like how do we reach our customer? How do we do it? Right. So it's kind of where I'm just like, Mike Barron has a history and people know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So what works for him, I don't think is going to work for everyone else. Now, that's not me saying he's wrong. I'm just, that's my
yeah.
thought
No,
process.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I say it's 3 elements, and I've been studying marketing and all that for a minute, right? So it's like 3 elements that come into play. One is like, do people your talent and people respect you as talent, right? Like we'll say EVS, right? EVS is phenomenal artist, right? So he has that talent. So that's A. B is he with that talent, he also has like a scope of practice. So if you talk about art, like he has that credibility to talk about art because A, he has amazing talent, and B, he like he can back it up, right?
And then, he's a position of authority on that from his record. Yeah,
exactly. So now we have that, right? And then also too, actually, B is more like I apologize. So B is more like exposure, right? So we have talent and authority, exposure. He's been on DC. He's been at Marvel. That's the holy grails, bro. Like, how much exposure can you get as a comic book creator?
That's same thing with Mike, right?
Right,
extremely talented writer.
Right,
he's worked for the big companies, And then
so
what's number 3? Yeah,
third one is spectacle, right? So like, if you study John Malin, right? Malin has talent, great artist. Malin has audience. You can say, he had some great runs on Marvel, right? Cable and what he did with Jim Zub. I forgot Thunderbolts, right? So
I think so. Yeah, Thunderbolts. Yeah, I only know this because of the movie. Yeah.
And then with the doing your boy Zach stuff, right? So that, and then you had spectacle with getting kicked off of Kickstarter. So it's like, dude, that's like the recipe that rocketed him to the top.
Yeah.
EVS the same thing. So I think it's you got to have talent and have some kind of authority to speak, and then you just got to find the other 2 elements, and that's either exposure, like someone like Mark Miller.
Hey, to me, it's like I don't know,
or a spectacle.
I don't like how do you even become like a that position of authority in today's age, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess you can still work for the big 2, but I mean, what does that even matter in these days? It's like,
well, I think authority. So I thought about this too, right? I think authority is finishing your book. Finishing your book is like the most powerful thing you can do. It's just finish your book. Because now you got 1 book out, you got 2 books out, you got 4 books out, you got 10 books out, you got 15 books out, right? And people start believing in that. So when like people could say JDA this, JDA that, I don't agree with them. JDA is like, yo, I put out like 30 books. Like I kind of have some room to speak. You might want to listen. And like that's that card you can play, right? And like another one is Narwhal, right? It's like, I put out a lot of books. I'm gonna get a Netflix movie made off of property that I co-created. Like, so
is that gonna happen? I mean, potentially, right?
No, I think the movie deal was already signed with Mark Miller.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you're like, damn, I should have been nicer to him.
No, I got to have dinner with him too.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, the someone needs you, because like there's a TED Talk video, right? They say, why does stuff go viral? And they tracked it down to a person with a bigger audience retweeted it, and that's why these tweets go viral. These tweets don't really go viral without someone introducing it to an audience, right? So that's where
the algorithm can't do it.
Yeah. So it's how do you get now? So it's like you can only control kind of like depending on availability and networking and communication skills. Like, how can you get to the audience, to a bigger audience, and how can you get to a spectacle that is positive and doesn't have a negative effect, right? So that's where it's like, just until you get those two that they come into play, focus on finishing, because here's the thing I believe is if you finish enough books, you create a certain authority, and that authority opens the belief and the trust of someone that can get you to the next level, to the next audience, that is willing to promote you to that audience, because you have all this work that you already done. You've been proven to be successful. You've been proven to grow a little bit of audience. It's kind of like Shark Tank, right? Hey, I got this customers. I did this. If you put us nationally, we should make about this much. And that's what people are looking for.
And like, I'm curious how Narwhal got, I don't know if anyone knows how, but it's like, I'm curious how he got noticed by Mark Miller, right? Or Miller, whatever.
They're watching.
Like, how are they, or, was it a con? Cause like one thing that it seems like this is the case to me, where it's like, man, there's obviously a much, much, much bigger audience online, but it's so much easier to be seen by more people locally.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because it's just like, there's too many voices out there. It's too big. It's so hard. It's like fucking finding, some like an asteroid in space, but like you go down to more local place, it's just like, you got like, you can see it at cons, right? There's so many more, you're getting so many more customers just like that, and building connections with people. It's just such a weird thing. It's like almost the internet's like antithetical to what you needed to do sometimes. But
the internet is everyone screaming at once. Like, who's gonna really hear you? But you're saying at cons you can have that little bit of intimacy where it's just a one-on-one conversation.
I can intimidate people in person too.
Well, just that that networking in person, it's powerful, right? Like they talked about John Gotti, right? They said, how can this man live in this neighborhood and the police and people wouldn't call the cops on him? And it's like, dude, people loved him in his neighborhood. They said John Gotti, they knew who he was. They knew how dangerous he was. He said, but when he talked to you, he talked to you like nothing else in the world mattered. He gave you just this ultimate respect. And so, like, someone that's capable of violence, capable of danger, and capable to and he's just treating you like gold. You're like, dude, they're all wrong about him. You know what I mean? So like that, just talking to someone in person and having that, like, hey man, this is my book. This is that, it's more intimate. It's more, I don't know, man. It's just better.
And Richard, I gotta say, I'm a good looking guy. My thumbnails don't do me justice, and it's when I'm in person, it's just I'm a fucking magnet. I just can't help it.
Hey, you do the hair flip like it's the 80s, and it's the cool thing to do. Like, oh, there you go.
You see that bounce? You see that bounce?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
You should do shampoo commercials, man. You're in the wrong business, man.
Yeah. I do everything wrong too when it comes to hair. No, and so it's interesting too, because like I did so much marketing research for like my other novel, before I even like went online, like I years ago I had to like force myself to get online because I was a fucking lurker, right? I never commented in the chat. That's weird, dude. So yeah, it was interesting. Some of the good advice or looked like good advice was just like, yeah, don't even bother selling your first book, right? And we're talking about novels. We're like, wait till you have like 3 or 4 and then start doing it. Because it's like, it seems that people like to invest, even in novels, they try to invest into a person. Like they don't want to like constantly try to find new authors. They're just like, oh no, I have my trusted authors. And I'm going to go with that. Or if it's just like, well, what happens when I finish their first book? I'm like, well, is that all they have? I'm like, well, I don't want to waste that time because then they got nothing else to offer after that. So it's just kind of interesting. It seems similar, right, with comics maybe.
I can see that. That's where a lot of my thing was like, oh, I'm gonna do a $5 comic. How can I get this down to $5? Because that was the whole marketing psyche is low risk, high reward. So it's like you're guaranteed to get it because it's done. With Blood and Sword 1, it's done, and it's only $5, and I'm ready to ship. I'm just gonna go to print. Like, how many am I printing, right? And so now you're like, oh, well, it's only $5. Shit, I'll just get the digital if it's a dud, Yeah. And what's crazy is it worked because people bought the digital, read it, and like, man, I want the physical. And then they came back about the physical, and then about the physical and the shirt. And I was like, seeing a lot of familiar names. So
yeah,
CG, so that was amazing too. Like a lot of these people weren't CG. It was just random people that liked the book.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple people at the con too that were just because I was selling my book for $10, and they're just like, "Oh, $10, that's it," anything you do to make it more comfortable, their wallet or anything, right? Trying to make your product as desirable as possible, right? I was gonna say something I totally fucking lapsed. But yeah, so here's a business model that I don't see anyone doing because I always bitch about people not like looking at what manga is doing and not trying to in any way copy what they're doing. Because I'm like, they're obviously successful and it's called manga, but it's a fucking comic. Like, and something that they do is they sell thick, bitches, but they also like they print it on the cheapest fucking paper possible and make it super cheap.
Doing it. DC's doing it now. For $10, you can get a whole trade.
Yeah, I think DC's starting to learn. They're in gas stations now.
Yeah,
I went to my sheets and it was fucking DC Comics. I was just like,
DC is doing what manga. So this is my understanding. So I got like into 6 comic book shops, and I've been talking to these people. I said, what's actually selling? Because online you hear you guys are going out of business, comics are dead, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I was like, that does happen, but is it a regional thing or this and that? And they said the absolute stuff, absolute Batman, absolute Superman, is flying off.
Which drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because it's just a gimmick. No, like, but people want it.
It's they said this, right? Because people's complaint is like, I want to get to the beginning. I want to get to the beginning. And even the Ultimate Spider-Man, right? They said, well, what if we give you the characters, but we change the origin story, and then we just move it forward and we just run it, So now you're gonna get it, the Ultimate series, right? They're gonna put it in the paperback. If you want to read the issues, you can do that. But they started it over, and they said they're flying off the wall, bro. They said they're
doing good. It is impressive. It's kind of nice to watch. I just wish it just like, I get it. The name Batman sells, but I just wish it wasn't, But I wish it was its own character. But no, I remember because they tried to do the same thing with New 52, but that became so convoluted as well. But like even that, they changed the characters a little bit, and it was just like everybody hated those little changes for the most part.
Yeah, but this one, from my understanding, is like it's a totally different, and I haven't read them yet, I was just listening to the talking points of them, right, of the stores, and they were saying, Batman's whole origin story is like totally different. I mean, I read the Spider-Man one when there's like, dang, what do you mean? Like his Uncle Ben didn't die and he's like part of the newspaper and this, and it was just crazy. It's like, wait a minute, Spider-Man has a kid and this and that. And it was crazy, man. So it's like, oh, okay, this is a whole new entertaining thing that happened, and
Yeah, sorry, I don't think we have time to EFAP something. Yeah, we're just shooting the shit at this point. But no, but what I was gonna say with that too, though, is like, because eventually I'm trying to learn how to draw, because I got into novels because I was like, oh, you don't need to know how to draw to do that, and I'm like, I can write a book. Like, I fucking stood 24-hour duties like all the fucking time and did everything. I just had to just do it. So it was something that just was like, all right, write one book that's over 100,000 words. That's going to be like a life goal. But then I loved it. I was like, this is so much fun. And then then it became more of a thing. But I'm like, but I didn't read books growing up. I'm dyslexic as fuck. And I know people say like, I'm dyslexic. It's like, no. I'm on a short bus for a reason. I took a short bus to school because I didn't start talking till I was 4 because I'm fucking dyslexic as shit. Right. So, what helped with that? Comics. So I read some comics. Not as much as a lot of other people, but that was something.
Yeah.
So it is something I want to get into at some point. But what I was going with this is like, man, what I'd like to do is just fucking put up like 20-page comics fucking online or somewhere, like as much visibility as possible, as cheap as possible for visibility, and just try to get the attention, like make like no profit off of these things, just black and white. And then when I have like, 5 issues or whatever, put them together for a paperback, and it's a special edition, and also the only way you get colored, right? Because that's one like, why don't mangas do the special editions more? Because like Berserk, the Berserk big fucking special edition books, those sell like crazy. But I'm like, why doesn't anyone ever like color one of those mangas? And then you have a little bit more of a selling point as well. Like, it's not going to cost them too much to color some of that stuff.
I would say this though, with that, people are traditionalists. So how they read it, they want that experience, but just with a thicker book. So people, because look at The Walking Dead, right? Now he's releasing them as in color, and people are like, I don't really care for it.
Oh, really?
Like, or maybe they do. Maybe they're just like, I don't know. Or maybe the.
Well, I figure, you obviously will have your traditionalist, and you wouldn't not be selling a black and white version as well. But I'm like, but I feel like there's some people that'd be like, it's kind of like, I feel like, again, hypothesizing, but it's like, sub versus dub on anime. It's like some people refuse to read subs, and so they will wait till the dub comes out. But then you get people that are like, no, I'm gonna, watch it in the intended language, so I'm gonna read subs. I feel like it'd be similar, maybe. That's a crazy thing. Got your family? You gotta hop.
No, yeah, my brother was just like, you want anything from Del Taco? I said, surprise me. He said, food or drink? I'm like, surprise me. And he's like, oh, but do you want? I'm like, just surprise me, man. Like, so.
Yeah, you're gonna come back slump and be like, fuck this. What is this?
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. The comic book space is just weird, bats. No
shit.
Like when I was like my first time at WonderCon, I was like, I didn't think I would be getting into Twitter beefs with getting my comic book ripped up and joining a cult. I didn't know what I was getting into, man. I just wanted to fucking make a
no. It didn't just get ripped up. It was ripped up by a 40-year-old woman wearing a wig. What?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a book with my daughter, you know what I mean? With a fucking unicorn. Yeah. Look at this shit, man. I'm gonna look at her and be like, man, it's because of you. I'm a grounder. I'm gonna take away her tablet. During all this shit because of you.
Look at you're gonna make her EFAP some. Oh, I can't say it. You're gonna make her watch some videos and fucking be like, this is because of you. This is your fault. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but I will say though, as weird and gay as the space is, it's like, man, the book space, it's just so fucking left wing, man. It's so left wing, and then like, and if they're not, they're just antisocial as shit, and there's just like there is no space, It's just so it's like at least there is this, community,
Yeah. Yeah, man, writing books is so freaking hard. Like that's why I just stick with comics. Like if anything, I love movies and I love comics, books. I love reading them, but just to sit down and write them. I don't have the attention span. I keep thinking of like, oh, I want to shoot it like this, or oh, I want to describe the panel to be like this for the artist, or I would, so it just that just lets me know that that's not what my passion is. This is what my passion is. So
yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's weird. I like literally, because I remember being in the Marine Corps and like for some reason, a lot of the public affair office guys I was like friends with, they're basically like the reporters. They were like fucking, what is it called? Recon dropouts. It was always recon dropouts, because what happens is when somebody goes in infantry and then they're like, they try to pick out some people like, hey, you want to go recon? Like, yeah, sure. And what they don't know is that it's a job change. So if they fail out of the recon school, which happens all the time, and it's like, well, break a leg or something like that, and they're like, all right, I'll just go back to infantry. And they're like, no, you now have to go. You're now open contract. We have to sign you a new job. And for some reason, they always got thrown to public affairs, and like that was always like a nightmare to me. I'm like, can you imagine being like, your job now is to just write fucking essays? And I'm like, it was always a nightmare. But then I'm like, now I'm writing, 300, 400 page books. So I'm like, how'd that happen? Who is this person?
Yeah.
But it's weird where you find passions.
I was just gonna say, because you said you were dyslexic and sometimes you read like crazy. So I was like, man, that would suck if you had to read directions on a grenade. Like, pull pin.
Dude, one of those things is steps is super difficult. And like I will like repeat back to things. It's like it's so weird. Oh, when people try to spell out their name to me, it's such a nightmare.
Oh, I hate that.
Because I'm like, what'd you say? What'd you say? And I don't process it. But no, I haven't had any instances with any grenades or anything,
Or like C4, like place this way, place bomb towards enemy, or place face towards enemy. And you're like, wait a minute, what?
No, but I did get to throw a grenade. That used to be part of the training curriculum.
Yeah.
But that's a scary thing, man. I don't want to do it. You're just like this, and they're like, all right, position.
Yeah, I had an army buddy, and he's like, Marines are tough. Or no, when he went in, he was like, man, Army's just as tough as a Marine. And then like I saw him a couple of years later. I was like, he's like, yeah, I got in a bar fight. I was like, with Marines? He's like, yeah. I was like, you kicked their ass because they're not tough. He's like, I was wrong.
No, there's probably a lot of them too.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Is man. I used to get in so many, not me, my buddies.
But you got back up your buddies. See, it's all tribal.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Well, I was always trying to break shit up. I was just like, because I'm like, my friends will kill people. Like I just something. I was DC. I'd always party in DC, and for some reason, just everyone there wanted to like. I just don't think they are used to people confronting them. So you get these fucking. A lot of them are like really rich, and just they're all small. And I'm from New Jersey originally too, and so it's like New Jersey. I was like average size to small, But in DC, I'm a big guy. But I roll up into DC, and I'm it's just a bunch of above 6 foot fucking stocky motherfuckers, and you get people that are shit talking us, and we're looking at it like, dude, what are you doing? And then sometimes they would like go too far, trigger one of my buddies, and I'm like, Manny, no, don't kill him, no, yeah. We got off topic. I think we're almost at 2 hours. I had fun talking to you, man. I think we should do this again.
You got to come on Classy Talk whenever I start to bring it back. I had some camera issues with StreamYard, so I've been doing Talk Studio, but
Yeah.
So
I keep telling everyone, like, once I get my campaign going, I'm going to try to get on every show. And it's like, next month. But guys, Talon Flats, you guys should check it out. It's fun. Great trailer, if anything. And anyone's looking for a Western.
$5 gritty Western comic that's grounded. It's going to be violent, mature audience. Like this is not for the kids, man. Do not buy this for your kids and then have buyer's remorse and rip it up later. Like this is not for the kids at all. You buy this for yourself, you enjoy it for yourself, or you buy it for your friends, cousins, whatever you want to, whoever you want to buy it for. I'm not going to limit you to, you make that decision, you know?
Yeah. Right. And I don't have clips to play because the StreamYard is super gay, but I guess I'll just.
Well, I'm out, guys. If this is what's cool now, I think I'm done. I no longer have any connection to this world. I'm gonna go home and kill myself. Goodbye, friends.